Hey everyone, it is Friday, October 7th. The time is 3:07 p.m. and the temperature right now is around 9 degrees Celsius. And I am here in Berczy Park. And this is where I just wrapped up recording a video that started over by King and Portland. And there is Front Street. And for this one, I'm going to be making my way over to the South Core District and then heading up to where the SkyDome is, as in about an hour from now, I guess 59 minutes from now, the Blue Jays will be playing the Seattle Mariners in Game 1 of their wildcard series. I think there might be a rather lively environment over there. Already seen a lot of people out in Blue Jays gear walking around the city. And I'm hoping to go home as soon as I'm done recording this and watch the game. And that is the South Core off in the distance. And that would be the area roughly south of the rail corridor, down to the waterfront, bordered I think by Simcoe or York Street to the west and Jarvis Street to the east. There's Meridian Hall on the left. I'm pretty sure it's Simcoe, or I guess Lower Simcoe and Lower Jarvis. I think there would be a lot of people heading west along Front Street here, making their way over to the base of the CN Tower where the SkyDome is. But we're going to take a slightly different route. So this here is Yonge Street. Now you can see a large crowd of people in Blue Jays gear marching west over there. And there's a look north up Yonge. So maybe what I'll do is I'll head south here and I'll walk west along Harbour Street. And then maybe at York, I'll head north up to Bremner, and then we'll go check out what things are like at the Dome. And then I'll head over to a subway station. And it's a best of 3 series. I think all 3 games would be held in Toronto. And if they win tomorrow, they'll be on to the next round. I might actually look into getting tickets for tomorrow. There's some Jays fans. Is he talking to me? You can't go through there? Or was he talking to his friend? Of course you can't go through here. But there is where the old bus terminal used to be, and they're now building a new tower. And there's a look east along the Esplanade and that Flatiron-esque hotel there. But we're gonna head under the rail corridor here. that was a motorcycle and not an e-bike riding in the bike lane there. And now they've got to get back into traffic, and they did. Here's a peek at the tower. So this is south on the west side of Yonge Street. And it comes to an end a few blocks south of here at the lake. And look at all this traffic. And there's a Go bus. They've had all sorts of problems with delays and cancellations because the new Go bus terminal is just off in that direction at CIBC Square, and that's where the buses turn in. But there's so much congestion here that it's made things an absolute nightmare to get in and out. It's amazing that wasn't something they were able to anticipate when they chose that location for the new bus terminal. And the wayfinding to the bus terminal is rather poorly integrated with Union Station. It's not that hard if you know where you're going, but I can see where the complaints are coming from. Might as well let this guy through. And that bus is making its way from Cooksville. So it's possible there's people on there trying to go to the Blue Jay game. Fortunately, I think they'll be on time. And there's another bus, the Mega Bus. And there is the location of the Sky Tower. There's 5 buildings going up at that site. Of 1,025, I think 865, 709, 492, and 322 feet tall. The Sky Tower at 1,025 being the tallest. I don't think it's scheduled for completion until 2024. And I think based on current height approvals, it is on track to be the second tallest building in the city and the country for that matter. There is One Bloor West going up, which I think is currently approved at 1,109 feet. And this Toronto Star building is also part of that complex. It was supposed to get reclad, and I think even have some floors added to it, but they bailed on those plans. And one of the towers looks to be finishing up pretty soon. Or they will be finishing up. It's not building itself. And there's a look north up Yonge. So this is Harbour Street. And now it's west along the south side of Harbour Street. So this will take us through the middle of the South Core District. It's always a bit quiet along this part. I don't think it ever gets that busy. And this whole area at one time would have been underwater. There's the Toronto Harbour Commission building straight ahead. And that used to be right at the foot of Lake Ontario. That's currently home to Harbour 60, a rather excellent steakhouse. And I have found the wind. I've got my wind muff on the microphone, so I'm not sure if this is coming through or not, but it is rather windy, and I'm walking directly into it. And here is Bay Street. And that's Scotiabank Arena, and that is connected to the south side of Union Station. And that'll lead you up to the heart of the financial district. And Harbour Square Park is just off to the south here. There's the Toronto Harbour Commission building. And I think that was built in 1917. Looks like they found an interesting spot to take a photo. Those two glass towers in the center are CIBC Square, and that's where that new bus terminal is. They really got to build maybe a dedicated bus lane and create prioritized signaling for it. They want that bus terminal to be a major transportation hub, and it replaced the old coach terminal at Dundas. I think it was right at Dundas and Elizabeth, in between Elizabeth and Bay. And these are some of my favorite condos. Some of the only condos I like in the South Core District. Those are the Harbour Plaza condos, and they are 62 and 66 stories. And they're right next to a office tower, that's the Sun Life Tower. And that's 35 stories. And of course, office stories are much higher than condo stories. And up here on the left used to be an off-ramp to get onto York Street from the Gardiner Expressway, and that was removed. And they left the supports up for the on-ramp, which were quite cool. They look kind of like modern ruins. I'm quite disappointed that they took those down. I think they could have been incorporated into the new park space. Speaking of which, this is going to be called Love Park. Kind of a silly name, and I think there's a big heart-shaped feature in the center. But this is supposed to open in October of 2022, which is this month. I see they hired Metrolinx to ensure that it would not be completed in a timely fashion. Although, I hope I get to eat my words and it opens up. That cement truck was laying on its horn. If you can't tell, I'm not too enamored with the South Core District. I think it's too much bare concrete. At least they put in some greenery. But it's lacking small retail at street level to sort of give it that neighborhood feel and scale that you want. And it's also got a reputation as sort of being Airbnb central. Let's cross here, particularly these two condos here, the ice buildings. They have a rather notorious reputation. That said, it's still 1,000 times better than what used to be down here. Which were, the light doesn't say cross. He's honking at me. There's no signal. I don't know what's going on, but it says don't cross. Well, let's just stay on this side anyways. There is the that driver at Porter, or the Porter shuttle, just gave me the thumbs up. Maybe he knows who I am. Awesome. I gotta try that shuttle sometimes. It takes people between just in front of Union Station and the excellent Billy Bishop Airport. That's the route Action Kid took to fly in. And I went for a walk. Whoa, okay. I went for a walk and I met him at the airport when he arrived. There's a look up at 10 York and 1 York. And the congestion can get quite bad in this area. They have traffic cops here. Oh. The sign says don't walk, but he waved us through. I think they're probably doing a much better job than just the signals could of being efficient. So this is north up the west side of York Street. This car is determined to merge over to the right here. And we should start to see a sea of Blue Jays fans in this area. You'll often see a lot of blue here before a Maple Leafs game, but even more so for the Blue Jays, just because the SkyDome is so much bigger.
You gotta save money.
Tell me about it.
There's Scotiabank Arena. I don't think there's anything quite like playoff baseball in the city. I know the Raptors won the championship a few years back. And the Maple Leafs haven't won since '67. But my experience just being in the city, especially in the 2015 and 16 runs, I think there's just generally more excitement and buzz for the Blue Jays than the other sports teams when the playoffs are on. I know a lot of people will disagree with me, and I'm a bit inherently biased being a baseball fan. In fact, I might even go as far as saying the Raptors, if we surpass the Leafs, they might be the third team in town, with the Argos and Toronto FC a distant fourth and fifth, being our Major League Soccer and Canadian Football League teams. There's police on horseback. In fact, during the runs in 15 and 16, I went to almost every home game. In fact, there was a few I had to leave work from because I tend to start them earlier in the day. The Blue Jays always get shafted when it comes time to set the playoff schedule. They don't get those primetime spots and they end up playing in the afternoon. 4 p.m. on a Friday is a little bit early. At least it's not 1 p.m. But I had to leave work a few times to go see the baseball game. Of course, this is just the wild card series. Things will get pretty serious if they win this series. I wasn't in the stadium for the bat flip moment versus the Rangers, but I was there when Josh Donaldson walked them off. Or he wasn't the one at the plate, but he was the one that ran home. They call that the Donaldson Dash. I was also there for Edwin's game-winning playoff home run versus the Orioles. That was just a single game elimination. They've since expanded the playoffs. And the Blue Jays this year had a record of 92-70. The Seattle Mariners, who they're playing, were 90-72, giving the Blue Jays home field advantage for this series. And I think the pitchers are Alek Manoah for the Jays and Luis Castillo for the Mariners. And while the Jays have only been to the playoffs 8 times, it's worth noting that it was much harder to get into the playoffs back before they expanded the format. It used to just be 2 teams from the AL and 2 teams from the NL getting in. And that's the mountain the Jays had to climb in 92 and 93. They also had a really good team in 85. I think it was the Kansas City Royals who bounced them. In addition to Bremner Boulevard here, you'll also find a lot of Jays fans probably making their pilgrimage along Front Street, as well as John Street and Blue Jays Way. Ripley's aquarium sign there said, "Good luck Blue Jays" on it a second ago.
Yeah, that's that song. Got it going on, we can't go wrong. Peace and love, enjoy the city. T-Dot, where we going, yo, the vibe is more than pretty. Yo, I love that, yo. Gotta go, yo, peace and love to y'all, yo, for real. Thank you guys so much, yo. Peace, peace, peace. Yes. Yeah.
And the CN Tower, of course.
Check it out, no doubt.
So I'm just going to walk around the east side of the building here. The south side along Bremner will be closed off to traffic on one side of the street. If I were going to the game, I would probably already be in by now.
Who's got a single ticket? Anybody have a single ticket?
Heck, I could probably go to the game right now. Is it worth it? Paying for a scalper versus a reselling website like StubHub? Let's see if we can get a view here.
But I don't feel cold. Oh, beautiful. That's too much.
How good is this? I think the Jays were in the playoffs in 2020. That was during the pandemic.
Oh, shit. Me and my brother like, oh.
So it'll be amazing to have a full house again. I'm gonna be like a fish swimming upstream here. So this is Front Street. I'm going to make my way, I'm still not sure, either to St. Andrew Station or Union Station, but we'll take in this sea of Blue Jay fans.
It's too far north. If anything, we're going to.
This is pretty awesome to see.
This is what we sign up for.
I will definitely be getting some playoff tickets in the near future if they continue their run this year. And I think there'll be a game Sunday if the series isn't over tomorrow. Yeah, I'm just gonna head all the way to Union. I could head north here to St. Andrew Station, but we're so close, and there's still a few waves of Blue Jays fans to go by. They could also take the Skywalk if they want to take the indoor bus or the indoor route.
We were right.
Top curbside, I have no idea. What this bus is, I've never heard of that before. Looks like an old coach bus. almost at Union Station.
Yeah, and Tony just bought all.
There you go. I like how excited. Laundry detergent.
Thank you. There goes another Porter shuttle bus. So by the time you see this video, you'll know if the J's won or not. I'm not sure when I'll upload it. Maybe I'll try to push this one out for tomorrow morning.
Nice. I remember when you were doing that. Yeah.
See, we could have gotten out, right?
So this is Union Station on the right, and it is 3:45. So I will probably get home around in time for the second inning, unless there's some kind of large, drawn-out ceremony before first pitch. Let's hope that's the case. But either way, I'm gonna turn off the camera and head down and hop on the subway. I hope you enjoyed this one, starting just to the east of here, ironically, at Berczy Park, and wandering through the South Core District, mostly along Harbour Street, then up to Bremner, around the SkyDome, and over to here to Front Street, just in front of Union Station. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there's a super thanks button appearing below these videos. All right, go Jays. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.